Hey, sup, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Now, due to the COVID-19 virus, I'm unable to really do any type of other videos like the Smashing News segments. So, in the meantime, I'll be trying to making more scripted videos. But with this one, I'll be going over the Nintendo Direct that just occurred today. And I'll be going through all the games that happened without a script. Just be telling you my first impressions of how I saw everything. Now, I believe that this direct we never even got like a notice. Like usually they would like give us a day or two before that like oh there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct, but like I don't think we got that at all. This was just like they just threw it at us and then we are just there to consume it. But regardless, I'll just be going through all the games that were announced through chronological order. Now, first up was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Now, we already knew this. This was, I believe, I think the last direct it was announced. And then this time we got is another trailer. Oh, and this time we got like there's a new epilogue story. So at the very least, we're getting new gameplay, getting new story to continue on from what people have already experienced with the Wii game. So that's nice. Next is the 2K games. So it's a collection of the Borderline games, the BioShock games, and the XCOM games. Now these are all games in which you would expect to be on an Xbox or a PlayStation, but I like it how they're all coming to Nintendo Switch. This is a really good addition. Next is the Marvel 3 update. I'm not really like that big into Marvel. I did play some of the ones on the like the sixth generation of consoles like PS2 and GameCube. It is kind of like those the X-Men games, and it's really fun. And there's an update to that game, and it's like okay, there's more content for the people who like that game. Next is like some underwater game called Shinai whatever it's called. I don't know how to pronounce it, but just like another like eShop game that they release, like whatever. And then there's a Animal Crossing update. Like they're already making an update when the game just came out. The update's gonna happen like in late April, but they're gonna have like an Easter event. You can find eggs all over. I guess that's like good content. Like more things for people to do with Animal Crossing. Alright, now here's my big problem. My first big problem with this direct. All those games I talked about, they all made up the first 10 minutes of the direct. Now, my biggest problem is that the underwater game, Shinsekai, that was the only new game. These are all just ports and updates. So I really don't like that. Especially like even though this is the mini direct, like the format should like it should always be like the first and last thing should be the strongest. And while Xenoblade's kind of a big game ish, it's not really like like Smash Ultimate or Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild type big. So that's already a big problem, and people already have a problem with the Switches being like it's just a port machine. People just putting ports and ports and not enough new games, and this direct kind of like amplifies that problem. It's just a bunch of just ports and they're just also talking about updates. So that's one big problem I have with the direct so far. Then it continues on. So like after Animal Crossing, he's talking about a new game called Good Job. Another eShop game, and it comes out today. Like that's another big problem, but I'll get to that later. So like a smaller eShop game comes out today. That's cool. Then we got a port of Catherine, which originated back in the PS3. So like cool, we get a port, but at the same time like it's a port. Like I want new experiences on Nintendo Switch, not things that like people have already experienced in the past. And then the next game is Ring Fit Adventures, which in theory it should be a problem because it's just another update. But this is probably the best update that we've gotten in the direct because it adds a whole new mode to the game and it breathes new life. And it's a rhythm game, and it's a rhythm game in which like you have to like really do exercises with the ring to perform well in the rhythm game, and I really like that. And it's also gonna have music from like Nintendo games like Splatoon, Mario Odyssey, Wii Fit, Breath of the Wild. So as much as like I don't like how they're just showing us ports and updates, this update I'll give the slight exception to, because it just breeds so much new content into Ring Fit Adventures. And then next that is King's Bounty, which is a King's Bounty 2, and it's his a strategy RPG, and it looks really good with the realistic graphics and such. I might perhaps check it out. So a new game finally. Besides, that's the third new game we've gotten so far. And then we're in the middle of the direct, and they just out of nowhere this gives us Smash Ultimate news. Now, since Byleth, we've been expecting Fighters Pass 2, like any news of that, and we were just assuming that like the information would get delayed or the DLC would get delayed due to the COVID-19 virus. But no, they just gave us information right away with no special trailer, no nothing, and it could have been anybody. It could have been a cool third party character, or it could have been a cool first party character for self promotion. But no, like we got Arms, like an Arms character. Like they showed all the Arms character and being like, okay, like this it's gonna come out in June, and then they just left it off at that. Oh boy, like I think this is worse than Byleth. Because in my opinion, ever since Joker, the DLC has been on a slow like decline of like I don't know, like the quality of characters we've been getting. Because like Joker was just so hype, Hero like great inclusion because that's a great like JRPG representation, and then the character itself controversial. I find him fun. Banjo, I didn't want him as a Microsoft rep, but like people really love him, fan requested, so I respect that. Terry, like obscure pick, I like that, but not what I would have wanted, but I'm fine with that. Then Byleth, everyone was just disappointed. You can check all the reactions for Byleth's trailer, like it was very underwhelming. But at the very least, I could understand because it's trying to promote a recent game. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses came out in July, then Byleth was added to Smash in January, so I can kind of understand that. But with an Arms character like Ribbon Girl or Springman, like the game came out 3 years ago. Like it came out like June 2017, and then the kit is gonna come out June 2020. So like they're not like really promoting a new game. It is an old game that like people forgot about after like the first month it came out. Like, like I don't think that should be like a thing in which people to be deserving Smash depending on like people care about the game, because like I'm pretty sure a lot of Nintendo fans didn't even care about the Fatal Fury or the King of Fighters series, but we still got Terry Bogard. But at the same time, like I would have preferred much better any other first party character. So it could have been like a Pokemon rep. It could have been the Ring Fit trainer. Like that would have been a better inclusion, honestly, because it's from a newer game. And it could have been like a nice side addition to like there's like Wii Fit trainer, and then like there's the new Wii Fit trainer, Ring Fit Adventures. So honestly, I am not a big fan of the Arms inclusion. And even though even if I did like the Arms inclusion, just the way they presented the information was just like hot garbage. Like no trailer, like no suspense. So like the suspense just came from like before the direct, like who we're gonna get. But like the trailer was just ass. So honestly, this doesn't kill the whole direct, but it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So then after that, we get not Arms content, but like they make Arms free to play for Nintendo memberships for the online subscription for like about 2 weeks. I guess that's cool. I guess for people who never played Arms, but they're just probably doing it just to promote the DLC. So like if you never played Arms, here's your chance. It's for free. It's free, so I'm not really gonna complain about it, but it's just tied to the whole Smash thing. And then we get a lot of information for Bravely Default 2. Now, usually in Nintendo Directs, there's always like a big game in the beginning, at the end, and then there's something in the middle. And this is the middle game. And this was like the only, well, they the video game awards, they didn't really show a lot of things, but Bravely Default 2 was their biggest game that they had to show, which left a lot of fans disappointed. But this time around, they just showed a gameplay trailer, and then a story trailer. So this was a really good trailer. I'm really interested in the game, even though I've never played the original or Bravely Second. So really good trailer. The next game is the collection of tabletop games, like 51 tabletop games. Looks really interesting, and they even added like online for like some of the games, online capability. Now, personally, like with video games, if I'm gonna play video games, I want something that I can only get from video games, like an experience in which only video games can offer. And tabletop doesn't really offer that. Like, I can play any of these games, in real life. But I'm glad that it's on Nintendo Switch, so you can have that option, not have to buy all these sets just to play all 51 games. So I view this more as a positive than a negative. Alright, next is Ninjala. It's a game that was previously announced in a previous direct, and then now we got like gameplay of it, and it looks really good. Now, obviously, like people, including myself, we're gonna draw a direct comparison to Splatoon because it looks very similar to Splatoon, with the vibe it has, like the charm and personality. It gives the same vibe, and it's also the same concept of like a 4v4 teams going against each other, but instead of squids, it's ninjas. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. Like I will try it out when it comes out. Like I'll try my best not to compare it too much to Splatoon, but at the same time, kind of the same vibes. But good for the direct. Next is Star Wars Jedi Knight and also Star Wars Racer. Jedi Race, not Jedi Racer. Star Wars Racer. That's a nice addition. That like, this N64 coming. It's a port, but like we got like a really old game. And then Jedi Knight looks very interesting. Like it's like a 16 player online. Like it has 16 players like competing against each other, and I like that. Like we've gotten some online Star Wars games in recently, and they've been mixed. But I feel like maybe this one will be better just because now like they have the experience of the other games. Though I don't know if this is the same company like who did the Battlefront, but I'm looking forward to Jedi Knight. Next is the Panzer Dragoon remake. Looks really good. I really like the original Panzer Saga. Not that Saga, that's a different game, but Panzer Dragoon, really good game on the Sega Saturn, and now it looks phenomenal with modern graphics. And best part of all, it comes out today, which is really good. But then that brings me into my second problem with this entire direct. We have had a handful of games that are coming out today or fairly recent, which is really good. It gives us something to play besides Animal Crossing for Nintendo Switch owners. Because I know like we don't got Doom Eternal, we're not getting Final Fantasy VII Remake or Resident Evil 3 Remake. But a problem I have is that this direct is not making 2020 look really good for Nintendo. Like a lot of the bigger releases here, they're coming out a lot later in the year. Like Xenoblade, Catherine, ARMS, the DLC for Smash Brothers. So that makes me kind of concerned about 2020. And also, like, I want some games to play right now. And right now, they just don't have much to offer. At least this direct is not showing much to offer. So that's another big problem I have with this direct. Next, after Panzer Dragoon, they show a bunch of game montages. A montage of games, per se. And there wasn't a lot to noteworthy, but I did find 3 games that were noteworthy. There were the Elder Scroll Blades, so that's good that we're getting more Elder Scroll games on Switch. We're getting Saints Row 4, another port. And then we're getting Legends of the Heroes Trails of Steel 3. So the PS Vita games. I also think was in PS4. Now we're getting the sequel on Switch, which is really good. More JRPGs. But yeah, the game montage, not a lot to be excited for. And then the whole direct ended with the Pokemon DLC. Like this is very underwhelming just because like we already got a lot of information receiving regarding the Pokemon DLC when it was originally announced, and now they announce not that much stuff in comparison. Honestly, this is not really a good follow up for info in terms of Pokemon DLC. And it's a really weak way to end off the direct because this is the last thing that we're seeing. Like I want something like big that like, oh wow, like I really want to get a Switch if I didn't have one, and this wouldn't really do it for me because information was underwhelming, and then it's also like it's a DLC to a game that's already out. So yeah, the direct doesn't end that well. So this direct mini, honestly, not that good at all. Like so many, it's just filled with ports, and like I just want more new experiences for Nintendo Switch. And it's nice that they give out updates for games, but like I want them to focus more on new titles. Only updates I really liked were what was it called? Ring Fit Adventures. That's amazing update. But besides that, nothing else. I would give this direct, I don't know, like a 4 out of 10. Yeah, like around 4 out of 10. 5 if I'm feeling really generous. So, yeah, in 2020, not starting off really good for Nintendo. But I'm hopeful that they'll pull things back through once we're done with the first half of the year. But yeah, this is my first impressions of the Nintendo Direct Mini for March 26th.